Good morning, everybody. It's Pastor Trevor Leitner joining you for our online Bible study. The reason this is online is so that you can pause this at places where you want to think. You can follow along at your own pace. Perhaps you can share this with somebody later if it had impact for you, if it helped you in your Christian life. That's the reason we do this way. So let's go ahead and dig into it. We're going to go through a passage today that might be a little challenging for some of you, but I would encourage you. It's okay. Let's go ahead and look at this. Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 through 14. Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction. And those who enter by it are many. For the gate is narrow, and the way is hard, that leads to life, and those who find it are few. So today what I want to talk about is the life less lived, the road less traveled. Today we live in a day and age that seems to really be dominated by opinion. By public opinion. We like to find our groups and do exactly what our groups tell us to do. We find our news channels that we like and we follow what they tell us to follow, and we believe what we're told to believe. Jesus is telling us, encouraging us, commanding us even, to perhaps go against that, to pick at it a little bit and think, is this way really leading us down a good path? Enter by the narrow gate, right? That narrow gate is a gate where really it does not, you can't walk through it with a bunch of people. You can't walk through a small door with a bunch of people at one time. You have to walk by it on your own. So let me encourage you there too. This walk is to be determined by yourself. You're supposed to figure this out. Jesus is expecting you to enter by that narrow gate really on your own. Now, what I'd encourage you to is, what is this narrow gate? What is Jesus talking about? The narrow gate that few find versus the wide gate, the wide road that leads to destruction. What is he referring to? Well, the narrow gate is actually following the commands of Jesus Christ. What we're attempting to do here in the It's All About This series. Now, how do we do that? We study the words of Jesus together and we put them into action. We actually do what it says. We are not just people who are Christian by name. We're Christian because that means following Jesus with everything we have. Versus what sometimes you see in church culture. One of the criticisms that I've heard from church culture from people who perhaps don't attend church is there's absolutely no difference between people who don't attend church versus people who do attend church. And what I would encourage you is the wide way of looking about your faith, of looking at faith, is perhaps church attendance. The narrow gate is digging into it and actually becoming a student of the words of Jesus and following Jesus to the best of your ability. Now I know you're probably sitting there scratching your head thinking, who do I know that actually does that? That's because it's challenging. It's challenging, but it's worthwhile. Finding the roads less traveled are always more worthwhile. I like to go for a morning run. It's part of my routine, and I pray for all of you while I do that. And this morning, as I was going for my morning run, it really occurred to me, the road that's less traveled that I turn on. See, when I start running, I'm running down a main road in a safe way off the berm. I'm not tangling with traffic or anything like that. You don't have to worry about me. Please don't comment that way. But it's a road where there's a little bit of traffic to it. Now, when I finally get to the little farm road that I turn off and I go up a hill, I have to run uphill on there. I love that road because all of a sudden the wildlife starts to pop out. You see deer, you see squirrels, you see all sorts of things that you get to watch while you're running. I'm running through cornfields in that road. It's the view is gorgeous. Where is this? Where am I trying to take you? I'm trying to take you to a place where you understand that as long as you're on that road more traveled, yes, you're going to see more people. Yes, you're going to be affirmed that perhaps you're going a direction that everybody else is. But when you finally get to that road less traveled of following the words of Jesus to the best of your abilities, you're going to find the most rewards. Yes, it's going to be a challenging road, but it's also going to be quite a rewarding road. I would encourage you to think about that. Pray about that. How can you take turns on the road less traveled today? What can you do that maybe would be different in your world? I'd encourage you to think about it and make one small change. One of these precepts that we've talked about of following the words of Jesus, I'd encourage you, do that today. Put it in action and see if it doesn't make a difference in your life. Well, we'll check in with you again next week. Until that time, know that I'm praying for you. Know that we're thinking about you. And we're on this road together. All right? God bless you. We'll see you soon.